All right, next up for us is the Pittsburgh Steelers for Fantasy Football 2013. Steelers, a team in transition. They still have Ben Roethlisberger at quarterback. Mike Tomlin is still the head coach, but they're not really a threat to do much during the regular season. And from a fantasy perspective, they don't have a whole lot of value. Starting at the quarterback position, Ben Roethlisberger is still a solid quarterback, but he is not a quarterback that is really got a lot of fantasy value. He falls in the same category as someone like Phillip Rivers or a number of other quarterbacks that get in that second tier that you could consider drafting, but they're really only going to be your quarterback 2 and be a quarterback that would be on your team for 1 week during the bye week of your starting quarterback. Roethlisberger suffers a lot of punishment. He doesn't have a great offensive line, holds the ball a long time in an effort to make plays, and always has in his career. And that will continue. But again, Roethlisberger not really someone to consider as a starting quarterback for your fantasy team. At wide receiver, they do have Emmanuel Sanders as well as Antonio Brown. Brown is going to be a solid but unspectacular wide receiver. Sanders is the one that really is going to have to replace Mike Wallace as the main gun for the Steelers as a deep threat. Neither one portends to get a lot of catches, or at least from a fantasy standpoint. I suppose both of them could be drafted, but neither one's going to go high in the draft. Sanders might have a little bit more value just because he's got a little bit more upside potential. Heath Miller is a terrific tight end if he can stay healthy. That's oftentimes been his biggest problem. He still is a solid man in the middle of the field. He'll catch a lot of passes. He'll get some short touchdown grabs as well. And again, is worthy of consideration. It's just his injury history that seems to hold him back a lot at the tight end spot. Running back, I haven't mentioned. They do have Le'Veon Bell, who they picked up from Michigan State in the draft. He's going to be one of the top running backs out there. Typically, running backs are the easiest position to play in the NFL and the most likely to become immediately successful in the NFL, and I would expect that to continue with Le'Veon Bell as well. He's going to get a lot of touches. He'll split some time with Jonathan Dwyer, but Dwyer's not a great secondary option, and Bell will get a lot of touchdowns on the goal line. Look for Le'Veon Bell to be one of those guys as a rookie to really be successful and to help the Steelers and help your fantasy team. Look for him to be taken right around that 3rd round pick. A lot of people don't seem to like him only because he is a rookie, and there's some more safer options to look at it running back, but he's a solid player. Defense and special teams will still be good for the Steelers, but not exceptional as they have been in the past. Steelers will be fine. You could do worse than the Steelers as far as a draftable defense, but again, they're in that back half of the top 10 defenses. Kicker Sean Sweesom. Sweesom is solid. The Steelers are going to kick a lot of field goals because they're not going to score a lot of touchdowns, and so you can look at him from that aspect as a valuable commodity. So again, Roethlisberger, quarterback 2. Le'Veon Bell could be a steal if you can get him in round 3, especially in the middle half of round 3. Jonathan Dwyer may be a consideration late in the draft, but probably won't be drafted. Emmanuel Sanders and Antonio Brown, wide receivers that are not special at all, but could be drafted in the middle rounds of the draft after all the really good receivers are gone. Heath Miller is solid tight end, but you're taking a risk that he's not going to be healthy. Defense is solid towards the back half of the defenses that will be drafted, and the same could be said of Sean Sweesom.